Hi, good morning. How are you? Supposed to be such a rainy morning today. My goodness, storms coming. They can be beautiful too. I actually love watching storms. I just hope it goes well for all of us. Caught in them? We're caught in so many storms, aren't we? Physical storms, emotional storms, mental storms. And that's very relevant to what I'm going to talk about today, which is I'm going to share with you some very simple and powerful and fundamental steps for true healing, which means healing the body, healing the heart, the mind, healing our lives. And what do I mean by healing? That's a very tricky word because everybody says, "Well, I want to be healed. Something is wrong with me." That's something we believe deeply, that there's something wrong with us. But there's something right with us too. We have within us the ability to heal, to love, to become strong, to repair what didn't go well, physically, mentally, emotionally, to restore ourselves. And I love that word, restore, repair. I love it because in the process of restoring and repairing, we grow. We make mistakes. We have to. Mistakes are necessary. How could we learn and grow if we didn't make a mistake? We learn from our mistakes. Oh, that didn't work. That's wrong. That caused a lot of difficulty. Maybe I'll make a turn in the road. That itself is a healing process, that awareness, the turn, the new move. But we're not talking about that today. Today, we're talking about something a little different. We're going to the very beginning, back to the beginning, and we're talking about the very nature of healing itself. There's a beautiful quote connected to this, which says, "The whole world is medicine. What is the sickness?" That's a Zen koan, actually, a very beautiful koan. A koan, as I've said before, it's just a question that has no logical answer. You have to become that koan. You have to live with it, grapple with it, take a walk with it, become friends with it, and then the answer becomes revealed, and you become the answer as well as the question. Anyway, let's talk about healing and the first that whole process. And the first step that I want to work with to start with is, who is the healer? We go looking for somebody to heal us. A doctor, exercise person, spiritual healing, physical healing, all kinds of healers. They all come with many different cures, so-called medicines, different programs, including me. I get this program too. I'm not saying I don't. I'm not a healer, but the truth heals, teachings heal when we live with them and when we live them. So in a sense, we're all engaged in this process. But let me talk about healers per se. They come with all kinds of cures without really knowing what is the illness, what is the fundamental disease, illness, distress that we are suffering from. That's a very important fundamental point. How can you cure something if you don't know what the real problem is, what the real illness is? Someone will say, "Well, I don't have any friends." And then the healer, with a very good intentions, may help them find friends. Symptoms, we're dealing with the symptoms, we're helping the symptoms. Or someone else will say, "I don't have a good body, I'm too overweight," and immediately we start working with the overweight. Or somebody will come with a physical symptom and we start working with the symptom itself, not looking at the overall question, what is causing this lack of harmony, our natural state, which is one of harmony? What's causing that? Very important, very important to stop at the beginning, the very beginning of the process, and say, what's happening here? Why am I out of harmony? When the rain comes, it's not out of harmony. It comes, it falls, it feeds the earth, it blows the wind, the storm ends. It's all part of the harmony. What is it in me that suffers so much? Why am I out of the harmony, my own harmony, and the harmony of my life and life itself? That's a very important question. What is causing the disease? What is the real disease we're suffering from? I'm talking beyond physical symptoms or even life symptoms. What is the real cure? Who is the real healer? Where is the real healer? Oh wow, that's some question. It's a very powerful question. In order to, and I've worked for years with different kinds of healers. I mean, in my own life, maybe a certain amount, but also over the years, I've done different work that has permitted me to be engaged with many different kinds of healers. And I want to say something. Many healers or caregivers or friends, this applies for all of us. They have the best intentions in the world. They do everything they can to make the person feel comforted, take away the symptoms, feel good in the moment, feel happy. And then the patient or the client or the friend might for a little while, and then they relapse, they go back. The suffering returns. Haven't gotten to the actual cause yet. But there's something else that I want to say to the person who feels that they're the helper, the healer, the caregiver. They will often feel very, very badly, as if they failed, when the person doesn't really get better, or when they relapse, when it doesn't stay. They feel, well, I did my best, and what could I do? What more could I have done? People say that even family members, when someone passes, there's always a sense of failure. I didn't do enough. I didn't say the right thing. I didn't do the right thing. No. The first thing we have to really understand deeply in the process of the cure, so-called, is you cannot heal anyone. Give up that belief. That's very kind of an arrogant belief. Oh, I can heal you. I can make you better. No. You cannot make someone better. What you can do is create an environment of trust, of kindness, of intelligence, of support, where the person who is suffering can get in touch with their own inner healer, their own inner wisdom. For them, that which knows for them what is out of balance, what needs to be healed, to be put back into balance. Each of us, deep down, know. We know. The body goes back into healing very often. The mind can. The heart can. The emotions do. We know deep down. But we're so busy attaching to other external healers. They're going to save me. They're going to heal me. That we don't listen. This is about listening deeply. We don't listen to within to what we need. What do I need? And listen. Be quiet. Don't impose an idea upon it. What's wrong here? What's deeply wrong? What's deeply needed? So the healer accompanies their client or their person on a journey of discovery. It's a wonderful journey, and it's an honor to accompany the other, because as you do so, you're being healed as well. The healer is always healing themselves as well. But we have to know not to impose our notions of health on someone else, our notions of what they need to be well. That is a mistake, and it leads people often into much worse suffering. The interfering with their own balance, their own inner knowingness and wisdom. For each person, it's different. Just like no two people have the same fingerprints or hands, palms. Each person, and at different times it changes. So the real healer, the real friend, a healer is a very big word, I would call the true friend who comes. They come to join, accompany, support, and help the other person look within and trust that what is deepest within them, the knowingness within them, will talk to them. Often we're so afraid of pain. Pain is bad. We've got to get rid of the pain. But pain can be a communication system, just letting us know, knocking on our door. Hi, something is wrong, out of balance here. Something is out of balance, and I've come to inform you. And when you attain that deeper balance, and when you learn how to dialogue with the pain, accept the pain, listen to it, not fight it off, hate it, try to shut it up with medicine. I'm not saying don't take medicine. I would never say that. Excuse me. Of course, medicine is needed at times, but I mean, the effort, we think getting well means shutting off the pain. It's not necessarily true. Pain can also be part of the healing, which is a very radical idea, but it's the truth. It's the truth. So when we stop resisting the pain and hating it and fighting it, and when we try to listen to it, and when we stop idolizing somebody else's way of healing and learn how to go within and listen. Everything you need is inside, and it will talk to you when you listen and stop hating it. When you allow the pain, a very strange thing happens. It begins to change. It subsides when you stop fighting it. When you welcome it, listen to it. What are you? What are you trying to tell me? I have many steps in this process of walking the path to true healing, and I will share them with you. I'm looking forward to doing so. It's from one of my latest books that will be out soon. And it's called Sacred Psychology, an invitation to live, which also includes love. It includes health. It includes many things. I really, really want to thank you for listening today. Now, as I say many times, listening is good. It's very good. But, no, not a but. It's only a first step. Listen, absorb it. It's the actual doing of the process. So when pain comes, any kind of distress, physical, emotional, mental, something disturbs you, don't fight it. Listen to it. Say hi. Become quiet. But what do you got to tell me? Well, what am I supposed to learn from this? What am I supposed to know? And just listen. Trusting that wisdom within is medicine. Great medicine. We don't trust it. Am I crazy? Am I delusional? What's wrong with me? We go through that over and over. So it's really important to learn how to trust and to listen. Some of the things we hear will be not really true for us, and we'll learn that out by living it, trying it, testing it, and many other things will be perfect. So I welcome you to this process of simple and wonderful healing, which we all participate in every minute. I mean, every day we breathe, we eat, we take a walk. We don't think twice about it. It's all part of being in harmony and in balance. So thank you very, very much for listening. I will be back next week, and I hope all of you, everyone, has a wonderful week. And if it rains, as we say in Zen, if it rains, let it rain. Enjoy the rain. Have a great day. Bye-bye.